of the week. I had some people asking me about knife manipulation, and by that I mean changing grips, which, just as a disclaimer again, if you ever pull a knife out in real life with intent to use it, don't ever change grips. Just however you get the knife out, use it like that. Changing grips is fancy and it's kind of goofy, and you're far more likely to actually drop your weapon than you are to do a cool grip change. Now, that being said, I obsessively switch grips. As soon as I pull a knife out, I'm twirling it around my hands, and I don't even notice I'm doing it half the time that I'm doing it. I just do it, okay? So I'll kind of show you, and these are by no means the only ways to change grips. It's just kind of the way I do it on a regular basis. I have two that I use. I use a spin, which is done by, you will pinch the knife between your fingers, and this is going to, the fingers you use depends on the size of your handle and the size of your hand, okay? So if you have a small or a really big handle, and you're using these fingers, it kind of gets stuck in your palm, and so you're going to have to adjust things accordingly. I find in most Spydercos that I can pinch my middle finger right at that indent on the clip, and that seems to work pretty close to perfect for me all the time. All right, but what you want to do is you want to let that roll. It's just going to, you just pinch it between your finger and let it roll like that. Now there's a little bit of sleight of hand here, because really what I'm doing is that, and then I turn my hand. See that? So I'm here, it rolls so it's pointed towards me, and then I turn my hand around so it looks like I get an extra roll out of it. But in reality, I'm just manipulating the knife so it's pointed towards me. That's a bad place to point it. Then I point it towards you, which is where it should go, right? So you have that. Now, when I learned how to do these a long time ago, we would do a drill where we'd cut our angles, and every time we cut, we'd reverse, right? And then we come back, and I'd cut and reverse, and I'd cut and reverse. And so I'd go through all my angles and work on that. So we did it a lot, and I do this obsessively. Now the other one is a spin. So what's going to look like from there is I got my grip, I take my fingers and put them over the knife, which is obviously why you don't want to do it in combat, because that's a silly way to hold a knife in a fight. And then, so I've got these three fingers over, and this is going to vary depending on your knife size and your hand size again. And I'm going to take and I'm going to roll it like that. Now the knife is pointed towards me, which is bad. I'm going to roll it over and point it towards the bad guy. Okay? So if we start again, I start from my grip, kind of pinch it between my thumb and fingers, and I put my fingers over the blade. And I roll it, and then I turn it. And so what you get is that motion. I'm going to go real slow, boom, like this. Also, what you can get is you can start doing a cutting drill. So I'll cut and cut up and roll back, cut. And so you'll be able to cut your angles, bring it back, cut another angle, and bring it back. So once again, you've got a pinch and roll like that, and then you've got a flip. It takes a lot of practice. I've been doing this every time I pull out a knife, which if any of you know me is all the time. I do this constantly, but I've been doing it for 15 or 20 years, so it just takes you a day and a half or so to master it, and then you'll be able to twirl it just like me.